Hey guys, so today I'm here without Caitlin because I'm going to be filming a storytime video, and for those of you who are subscribed to our vlog channel or following us on Twitter, you would know that Jack and I broke up. And if you are new to my channel, you would probably not know who Jack is. He is my now ex-boyfriend of 2 years. Not my ex for 2 years, he was my boyfriend for 2 years and now he's my ex. And for those of you who have been with us for a while, you probably know who he is because he's been in a lot of vlogs and videos with me. And yeah, so I am going to make a storytime video explaining why we broke up, and I just want to put this out here that I am not trying to be like, you know, like really like rude. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to start anything with him. I feel like a lot of you have been with us for a while. You know Jack, you know me, and you deserve an explanation as to why we're not together anymore, because I mentioned it, like it's my life, and so I'm gonna talk about what goes on in it, and I feel like I can't just say, oh, Jack and I broke up and not tell you why. And I also feel like this video can be really helpful for anyone who is in a relationship and doesn't know if like you should get out of it, and doesn't know if like what your boyfriend or girlfriend is like doing is right or wrong, and if you should trust them and all of that. I feel like I can be some help, maybe a little bit, with my story. And yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not trying to be like petty and rude and annoying and like complaining, and because we were together for 2 years and I did love him, and so I'm not like, I don't want to be like, you know, come off as like really rude, because he was like my best friend for 2 years. So yeah, but with that being said, I'm going to get started with the video. So for those of you who don't know, Jack and I started dating March 5th of 2014. I was a sophomore, he was a freshman, and before we started dating, we didn't really know each other. I knew that I knew who he was, like, because my sister Leanna is in his grade, and she had had classes with him before, and he knew who I was, I guess because of Leanna, I don't really know, but also Leanna's boyfriend Alex is one of his really good friends. So that's kind of how we like met and started talking. But when we started dating, we didn't really know much about each other. One thing I did know that should have been a warning sign, like don't get involved with him, is that the girl he had dated before me, he didn't ever actually break up with her. He just cut her off completely. Like he just stopped talking to her. He stopped texting her. He just avoided her in the hallways. Like, yeah. So I knew that, yet I still got involved with him because I'm an idiot. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I really knew about him, and when we started dating, that was all I knew about his background. So yeah, so basically the first year of our relationship was fine. We had fights like, you know, any couple does, but for the most part we were fine, we were happy. It wasn't until about our 1 year anniversary that things started going really downhill. For our 1 year anniversary, I got him a present, obviously, because that's what you do for your anniversaries. And I got him this like $40 hoodie that he wanted, that was like from this like, YouTube company, and he like really wanted it. And he had shown it to me for his birthday that he wanted it, like the year before, but at that time we'd only been dating for like 2 months, and I didn't want to spend $40 on a hoodie for him. But when we started dating for a year, I was like, oh, I'll buy him that. So I got it for him, and he had previously mentioned that he wore a medium, but because I was ordering it online and I couldn't physically see myself how big it was going to be, I was really paranoid. Like, I don't order clothes for myself online, so I was really paranoid that it would be too small. Not saying like he doesn't fit in a medium, like that's not what I was trying to say. I was just, in my mind I was like, what if it's too small? And someone had actually left a review saying that it ran a little bit small, and so I just didn't know, and I was like, I'm gonna just order a large, because if it's too big, like I'd rather it be too big than too small, because you can wear your hoodies big, but like if the sleeve comes up here, like that's just gonna be awkward. So I ordered it in a large, and a few days after our anniversary I gave it to him, and he was furious. He was so upset with me for getting him a hoodie that was too big, and we were actually going to PetSmart to get stuff to like clean his fish tank or something like that, and I was gonna like help him clean it. And so we were like going to PetSmart, and the whole time we were driving there he wouldn't talk to me, and then the whole time we were there he wouldn't talk to me. He was just being really weird, being really standoffish, and I was like, I don't know, like I'm sorry it's too big, like if I can send it back and get a new one, like I'll try my best. Like I didn't know, and I didn't want it to like not fit you, but he just wouldn't talk to me. He was so angry with me. And so by this point, I'm like getting upset because I'm like, I gave you this gift and you're like being really rude about it. And so like I just kind of stopped talking to him. Like I was like, forget it, like I'm not really gonna talk to you right now. And so we got to his house and he was like talking to me but like being rude about it, and I just wasn't really saying anything, and he was like, okay, if you're not gonna you either talk to me or get the F out of my house. Except he didn't say F, he said the real word, but some of my viewers are kind of younger. And so I was like, so I just picked up my keys and left. And that was the first like real like big fight that we had. And I got home and I just started crying and I was so upset. And I know that he called me or I called him or something. I don't remember what the conversation was, but I know at the end he was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, bye, Kylie. Like, he didn't say I'm breaking up with you, but he was implying like I'm done with you. And so I was like so upset because I really did love him. And so yeah, I was just like really upset and I didn't know what to do. And I don't really remember how this all got resolved, but I do know that we did end up getting back together a few days later and like everything was fine after that. And yeah, and so then a few months go by and we get to prom. And just for the sake of this video, I'm not gonna give out the names of people that are like innocent in this whole situation because that would just be really rude of me, and I'm not going to be that person who like puts everyone else's business out there. But yeah, so that's why like all the names I'm saying except Jack, it literally was Jack's name, you guys know that, but everyone else's names aren't their real names. I'm just not putting their business out there. So, well, I am, but like anonymously. So prom comes around and I was a junior at this point, and so I could have gone to prom, but he was a sophomore, so he couldn't go unless he went with me. And he had like shown some interest in wanting to go, but I just didn't really want to go because all of my friends were sophomores. Like I've always been friends with like the grade below me because like that's the grade my sister's in and that's the grade my boyfriend was in, and like I was just friends with like those people. And they couldn't go, and I didn't want to go like just me and him, or like me and him and like his sister's group of friends that he wanted to go with, because I just didn't like know them, I didn't feel comfortable around them. So I was like, I just want to wait until my senior prom and then we can go when I'm a senior and you're a junior. And so he was like, okay, whatever, like fine. But then this one girl who is actually like really good friends with Jack's sister, we'll just call her Vanessa. She wasn't gonna have a date to prom, and everyone in her friend group was gonna have a date, and like she wasn't. And so she was like, well, I'm not gonna go if I don't have a date because that's just gonna be awkward. Like I don't want to be going without a date. And it was her senior prom, and I didn't want her to not be able to go to her senior prom because like she didn't have a date. And so somehow it came up that like Jack could go with her, and I was like, yeah, that's fine, like you go with her because I don't want her to like not be able to go because I'm a nice person like that. But basically prom happened and it was fine, and something came along, and I'm not gonna put out there like what it was, but something happened that he lied to me about that really like I knew he was lying, and I asked him about it in person and he told me like he lied to me about it, but then later I found out and was like able to show him proof that I knew he was lying. I'm not gonna like say what it was, but so something happened that he lied to me about, and I just instantly had like trust issues with him from that point on. Like I mean I tried my best to trust him, but it's like when you're lied to, it's like hard to trust that person again. And so it took some time, but like eventually I was able to trust him again. It was just like for a while there like I couldn't really trust him, and that was like the first time that was like the one thing that came up that I was like this is becoming a problem. And that was in May of 2015. So fast forward the rest of like 2015 and the beginning of 2016, we were like fine. I mean, I don't want to say we were fine, but he would get mad at me a lot. He would get mad at me about things that I had no control over. Like for instance, I can't go to your house because my cousins are coming over, or I have dance, or my mom just said I can't, and he'd be mad at me. Or he would be mad at me because he was mad at someone else because Alex like did something to make him mad, and he would take it all out on me. Or like just things that like he wanted me to like, I don't know, like he just got mad at me about things, and it's like things like, why are you mad at me about that? Like I didn't even do anything and you're just really mad at me. And he would be like really mean to me too. Like he wasn't just like annoyed, like he was like mad and he was mean. And so like we just had a lot of problems, and there was a lot of times over the year that I just thought to myself, I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I with him? And actually, my best friend Anastasia, she would always say, like, you just need to stop being with him. Like, why are you with him? Why are you putting yourself through this? But I am such, like, I just don't like hurting people's feelings, and I just like to trust everyone and be nice to everyone. And I just wanted so badly for him to be, like, the person, like, a good person. Like, the person he was the first year we were dating. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what changed. But for some reason, he just would get so angry at me. And it really, like, negatively affected me. I was crying over him more than I was, like, smiling about him. I was upset more than I was happy. Like, it just, and so I don't know why I didn't just say to myself, like, leave the relationship. But it was just, like, I just wanted him to be, like, I just wanted it to work, and I just kept staying with him, hoping that one day he would, like, snap out of it and, like, treat me with the respect that I deserved. But nothing really changed. So January of 2016 comes around, and this is when things just really started going downhill, like, really fast. We were walking through the hallway one day during, like, in between classes, and I, like, turned to him to start telling him a story, and for whatever reason he thought it was a story I'd already told him, and I was like, oh no, it's, like, something else, and he was just like, well, whatever, I don't even want to hear it. And I was like, okay. So I just, like, wasn't really talking or saying anything, and then he started doing this thing to my hand that he would always do that, like, really annoyed me, mostly because I couldn't figure out how to do it, like, how he was doing it, but it, like, also felt really weird, and I really hated it. Like, it didn't hurt or anything, like, he was just doing it to be funny, but, like, it really annoyed me. And that particular time, like, he had just yelled at me about the story I was trying to tell him, so I was, like, just really annoyed, and I was like, stop doing that. And so he was like, fine, and, like, pulled his hand away from me, and he was like, then I'll just go to class. And I was like, okay. And he went to class. And then I went to lunch, and I texted him, and I was like, why are you mad at me? And he read the message, because he had his rev receipt on. He read the message and didn't reply. And I was like, what? Stop ignoring me. And he, again, read the message and didn't reply. And so for the next 3 days, he just ignored me. He just would not reply to my texts. He would not talk to me in school. He just completely ignored me. And I still, to this day, like, he says it's because I told him what to do, but, like, why were you even ignoring me in the first place? Like, why he was mad at me in the first place is what I still don't understand. Like, you were the one who yelled at me, so why are you mad at me? And he just, yeah, so he wouldn't talk to me for 3 days, and then one day he finally, like, 3 days later, he texted me and, like, acted like nothing was wrong and, like, nothing had happened, but I wanted to, like, everything to work so bad, so I just kept texting him, and I was like, it's fine, like, I forgive you, I'm sorry that I made you mad, and, like, we moved on. And then we had a snowstorm in January, and we were out of school for, like, a week because there was, like, 3 feet of snow outside. And one particular day, he was going to hang out with a bunch of friends, and they were going to have, like, a sleepover or something. And we had gotten in, like, I was kind of upset with him over something that I don't really want to talk about, but I was really upset with him about something and that same day. And so I wasn't really, like, texting him. Like, I mean, I was texting him, but, like, I guess I was being, like, kind of, like, you know, like, moody and, like, angry. And so he, like, I guess it just made him mad. And so when I went to bed that night and stopped texting him, he was with his friend. He was like, oh, I'm gonna go get some with Amy, which Amy is not her real name, just don't want to put her business out there. But he's like, oh, I'm gonna go get some with Amy. And all of his friends were like, don't you have a girlfriend? Like, why? What are you doing? Like, why are you trying to cheat on her? And he was like, yeah, well, not for much longer, because, like, things are going downhill. And, like, they weren't. So I don't know. Like, he was just mad at me that I was mad at him. And so he like, left his friend's house and went and tried to cheat on me with Amy. And he didn't succeed because she had a friend there, and I guess they just, the friend wouldn't let anything happen or something. I don't know. I wasn't there. I just heard the story, so I don't know exactly what happened. But for whatever reason, it did not succeed. He did not cheat on me. But then the next day, I texted him that morning, and I was like, good morning, and he was, like, being really weird and standoffish, and he, like, wouldn't really talk to me, and he was being, like, really weird, and I was like, what is your problem? And he was like, I don't know, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, okay, like, what the heck? And so we met at Chick-fil-A, and he was like, okay, well, I didn't bring you here to break up with you, but, like, I just think you're really controlling and, like, all this stuff. And I was just, like, so confused because I'm like, what do you mean I'm controlling? Like, what did I do that's controlling? And I did not even know at the time that any of this had happened the night before. I did not know that he had tried to cheat on me. And so I just didn't know what was going on. And so I got like, upset, and when I get upset, I just, like, get really quiet and I don't talk. And so I like wasn't talking, and he was like, whatever, then I'm leaving. And he just got up and left me in Chick-fil-A. I mean, I drove there myself, so like I was able to get up and leave too, but like he just got up and walked away from me. So I went home and I was like really upset. And I like didn't like that whole night I was just really upset. And finally he called me and we were like able to work things out, and like he like I forgave him and he like apologized and he forgave me, I guess, and I was like I won't be controlling anymore and whatever. And so flash forward 2 months later, we've gotten in like between January and March, we had gotten in plenty of like, you can't even call them fights because they weren't fights, they were him being mad at me, but plenty of that had happened. But I just kept powering through it, hoping he'd become a better person. And our 2-year anniversary passed on March 5th of this year, and then March 18th, Friday night, so like just like over a week ago, I was at his house and he was telling me about how this girl, we'll call her Leah, was telling him, like him and Leah were doing some school project together, and they were driving to the store to get some materials or something, and some song about someone being unfaithful came on. And Leo turned to him and she was like, oh, you know all about that because like aren't you cheating on Kylie with Amy? And Jack was like, no, what are you talking about? And like really confused. And Jack told me this. So in my mind I didn't really think anything of it because I was like, why would Jack tell me that Leah had these suspicions that he was cheating on me if he was cheating on me? Like he wouldn't tell me that, he wouldn't like put it in my head. And so I didn't really think anything of it. But then I started thinking, but why would Leah think that? Like what happened that made her think that? And so I asked my sister Leanna, and I was like, well, I didn't ask her, I was just telling her about it. And she was like, oh, she probably heard it, Leah probably heard it from Alex. And so I was like, what? And so then I texted Jack and I was like, are you cheating on me with Amy? And he was like, no. And then I was like, well then why did Leanna say that Leah might have heard that you were from Alex? And he was like, I don't know, ask Alex. So I texted Alex and I asked him. And after like literally an hour of texting him back and forth trying to get him to tell me, because he told me that something had happened and that he felt bad because he didn't tell me, and that he wanted to tell me but like he didn't want to mess up our relationship or whatever, and he didn't want Jack to be mad at him, so he didn't want to tell me. But like so at this point I knew something had happened, and I knew it was with Amy because he also told me that, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. But finally after like an hour I got him to tell me what happened, and he told me like that Jack had tried to cheat on me. And so I was like really upset, and I was like, how did you let me go 2 more months dating him after this happened? Like you didn't tell me. And he was like, well, I just didn't want to ruin your relationship, and I don't want to ruin my friendship with Jack. And he was like, please don't tell Jack I told you, like you can ask me about it but don't mention me, like don't say I told you. And I was like, okay, like I didn't want to ruin their friendship, I wanted to respect Alex's wishes, so I didn't tell Jack that Alex told me. However, the problem was I did want to confront Jack about it, and so I was like, if he lies to me and says nothing happened, I'm gonna know something happened, but I'm not gonna be able to tell him because then he'll know Alex told me, because nobody else would have like told me. He would have known it was Alex. And so I asked Jack, I was like, have you ever tried to cheat on me or like thought about it? And he said no. And I was like, okay, well, what do I do now? Like, you're lying to me, but I can't tell you that you're lying to me. And so I just didn't know what to do. And Jack got like really mad at me, and he was like, I just don't understand why you would accuse me of that, and like blah blah blah. And I'm like thinking in my mind, well, you did it, so like I'm not accusing you, I'm like trying to make you confess up, but he wouldn't. And so I was just like, I didn't know what to do, and I like told Alex, I was like, I don't know what to do because Jack's lying to me about it and I can't say anything because of you. And he was like, well, I don't want Jack to be mad at me, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so then Jack and I like, I mean, we like made up, but not really, because I was still really mad at him. And he asked me to come to his house the next day, and so I did. And the whole time I was thinking, like, this is just not right. Like, I can't just let this go. Like, I'm not gonna be able to just let this go. And so I like asked him in person, I was like, have you ever cheated on me? Like, are you sure you haven't tried to cheat on me or anything? Like, you're not lying to me. He's like, no, I'm not lying to you. Like, do you know something that I don't know? Like, what are you talking about? And he like told me to my face that he hadn't cheated on me, and I was like, well, you have. But I couldn't say anything. And the whole time I was at his house, he was being completely normal. Like, he like we were watching Game of Thrones, he like wanted to sit with me, he wanted to like, we were gonna go out to dinner that night with Leanna and Alex actually, and he like made those plans, like he was like telling me he loved me and everything like he normally does. But the whole time I knew, I was like, this just isn't right, and I just don't know what to do about it. And then Alex had texted me, and he hadn't texted me about the whole thing with Amy. He texted me, I don't even remember what he texted me about, but whatever it was, Jack saw his name like light up on my phone, and he was like, oh, I'll reply, and like grabbed my phone. And I was like, oh no, like I'll reply, like trying to grab it back. And he was just like, no, I'm gonna reply. And I was like, no, seriously, like let me reply. And he was like, okay, well now I'm curious, like why won't you let me reply? Be stronger than me. So there was nothing I could do. I couldn't take my phone back from him. And so I just went into instant panic mode. I was like, Alex is gonna kill me. Like I don't know what to do. But in my mind, I did not think that Jack was gonna be mad at me. I did not, because why would he be? Like you tried to cheat on me. Like that's not my fault. Like why would you be mad at me? And so I was just like sitting there the whole time next to him as he read these messages with Alex, and he like read all of them, knew Alex told me, knew the whole thing, knew that I knew. And as soon as he finished, I was like, can I have my phone back now? And he like gave me my phone, and then he got up and started walking away, and I was like, no. And I grabbed his arm. I was like, we need to talk about this. And he pushed me off of him, like back onto their couch, like not like hard, like he didn't hurt me, but he did push me off of him and went in his room. And I was like, well crap, what do I do now? So I texted Leanna, and I was like, Jack read the messages with Alex, I don't know what to do. He went in his room, he didn't bring his phone, so I can't even like text him and be like, come out of your room. I don't know what to do. And Leanna was like, well, go in his room, like go knock on his door. But I didn't really want to. And at the same time, his mom came downstairs. Jack's mom came downstairs, and so I was like, well, now I can't, because that would just be weird. She didn't acknowledge me or anything though, and I was just sitting there texting Leanna, and I was texting Alex, I'm like, I'm so sorry, like it wasn't my fault, I didn't mean to let this happen. And then Jack's mom went upstairs, and Jack came out, and he grabbed his phone off the couch where he had left it, and he like handed me my keys. He like put them in my lap actually, and walked upstairs. And I was like, okay, like this is just it, like I just need to go, like there's nothing more I can do, like he's ruined our relationship enough, and there's nothing else I can do to fix it. And so I put my shoes on, and I walked upstairs, and I go to walk out the door, and Jack just turns to me, he's like, bye, and I didn't say anything. I just walked out to my car, drove home, started crying, and but I didn't want to text him. I didn't want to. Every time we would get in, like he would get mad at me, I'd be the one texting him like, please forgive me, like can we talk about this? And I didn't want to give him that satisfaction of knowing that I cared. And so I didn't text him. And Wednesday and Thursday, I didn't text him at all. And then he didn't text me. And we kind of just like, it was like in my mind, I knew we broke up. And I knew that if he did text me, like I probably wasn't going to, like I was probably going to end things. But we weren't really broken up, because neither of us had said that we were. And so Friday morning, I'm sitting on the couch, and my mom comes downstairs, and she's like, did you and Jack break up? Like, did you actually call things off? And I was like, no. And she was like, oh, well, his mom just messaged me on Facebook and said she was sorry to hear that you guys broke up and stuff. And so I just like started crying, and I was like, he just broke up with me and didn't even like have enough respect for me to tell me that he broke up with me. And so she was like, well, I just think you need to text him, like you can't give him the satisfaction of breaking up with you, like you need to break up with him, you need to end things with him. And so I texted him this like long thing about how like I just couldn't do it anymore, and I just all this stuff, and that I was just done. And he never read the message, and he's always had his read receipt on, so I don't know whether he turned his read receipt off or if he blocked me, one of the two, obviously. So I don't know if he ever saw the message or what, but either way he didn't reply, and that was the end of that. So yeah, I haven't talked to him since Wednesday, since I left his house, and it's so weird because it literally went from, oh I love you, to get away from me, I'm mad at you, in literally 30 minutes. And what bothers me the most is the fact that he was mad at me. Like, why are you mad at me for something that you did? I don't understand. He wasn't even mad at Alex. He was mad at Alex for like literally 5 minutes and then got over it. And he's not even mad at Alex. And he's not mad at himself. He's mad at me. And that's what I don't understand. And that's what bothers me the most. And that's why like these last 3 days, like I would just randomly break out into tears. And it's not because I'm sad that I ended things with him. It's not like I'm sad that I'm not with him anymore, because I know, like, even if I am a little bit sad about that, because I really did love him, but I know, like, in my heart that, like, I just needed to get away from that relationship. But I'm just really, really hurt that he would just be mad at me about it. And, like, he doesn't care. He does not care. He does not have the least bit of respect for me after 2 years of being with him to at least call, like, say we're done. Like, he just, and that's what really bothers me. And it bothers me that he's like that, and it bothers me that I knew he was like that and I continued to be with him. And so that's what I just want to say for anyone out there who's like in a relationship and you see any of the same things that happened to me you feel happening in your relationship, you just need to like either bring attention to your girlfriend or boyfriend, or like just call it off, because it's just not going to end well if you just let it keep happening. I promise you that. And I wish that I would have known this, that this was going to happen a year ago. I should have ended things earlier with him, and I feel really, really stupid that I let it go on for this long, and really disappointed in myself. But I mean, there's nothing I can do about it now. We're done. I'm done with him. I don't even, like, I have a class with him, and it makes me want to, like, literally just drop out of that class. Like, I don't need the class. So I'm literally 10 seconds away from, like, even, like, I'm telling him, like, can I just have, like, can I drop this class? Because I just don't want to be in the same room as him. But I'm just going to power through it, because that would really give him way too much satisfaction that I cannot let happen. So, yeah. I hope that for anyone watching this that knows Jeff personally, that you don't feel like I'm attacking him or saying, like, oh, he's this horrible person. Because if he's this horrible person and I hate him and he's so stupid, because I'm not saying that at all, because I really did, for the 2 years we were together, I really did love him, and there's always going to be a part of me that, like, is never gonna really, like, I mean, like, I'm gonna completely get over him, but, like, he's always gonna play, like, a special part in my life, because he was my first, like, real boyfriend, and he was, like, I mean, he was a really big part of my life for 2 years, and so it really sucks that we had to end things. It really sucks that it ended the way it did. I wish that I could go back in time and change the outcome of this to get all completely. But yeah, I don't want anyone to think I'm being really, like, just mean or rude or, like, anything about this whole situation, because I'm not trying to. I was just wanting to let you guys know what happened between Jackie and I, because I felt like you needed to know, you deserve to know, because you've been following our relationship since the beginning. And also, I felt like anyone out there who is in a relationship and feels like it might be going downhill, you might find this video kind of helpful. And yeah. So that is the end of that story, the end of a big chapter in my life. And now I'm about to graduate and move on and find someone else way better eventually and be a lot happier. So yeah. That is the end of my story time about what happened with Jack and I. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button right down below if you haven't subscribed already. My birthday is on Saturday, and I really, really, really want to hit 2,000 subscribers by my birthday, and right now we are like 65 subscribers away, and we have a week. So if you guys can hit that subscribe button and help me reach my goal by my birthday, that would be so super helpful, and I'd be so happy. So yeah, and make sure you... And we upload every single Monday, so you don't want to miss a video. And also subscribe to our vlog channel, which will be linked down below. It always is, because we are going to be trying to vlog a lot more. And it's a really good way to get to know, like, behind the scenes stuff that happens in our life. And also follow us on Instagram and especially Twitter, because especially I start tweeting a lot. And so that's a good way to get to know more about us too, and interact with us more, and we can interact with you guys more. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace, love, and ladybugs. Bye. And ladybugs.